Welcome in, everyone. Man, it's Friday morning. It's time to get this started. I know a lot of people told me that it was finally going to be my day and I had to get it done. And here we are. So I'm ready to get it started. For a Friday morning, the best thing I can tell you is this is your morning wake up call. How do we get you started for this morning? Well, we're going to talk a little bit of entertainment. We're going to talk a little bit of news. We're going to talk about some point of view. And then, most importantly, you can call in. You could be a part of the show. If you are interested in calling in, there's our number scrolling at the bottom. You call 512-843-1506. We're going to have you on with us today. Yes, you're officially going to be on the first live stream. Call up, give your point of view. We'll take that from you. So, a little bit about what we're going to cover today. Look, there was a man, he ran 10.4 seconds in the 100 meters. If you don't know, that's fast. I'm even going to tell you it's a little bit off of the best international runner level. 10.4 is fast. Now, the thing about it is, he ran that 10.4 with his shoes off. He ran it barefoot. Who out here still thinks that they are faster without their shoes on? I got to know. How many of y'all still believe that that's you? If you think that that's you, tell me, when was the last time you did that? I'm going to say you was at the cookout. Your cousin started talking a little too much, and you said, "Oh, is that a fact?" I'm just saying that's how the conversation started, right? Oh, is that a fact? Maybe you didn't use those words, but it sounds like there was a double dog dare. It sounds like there may have been an opportunity for that person to have to put up or shut up. But then your shoes came off. We still doing that. I mean, I stopped. I'm not gonna say that I didn't have my time when I did that. I'm just saying it's tough. It's tough on your toes. It's tough on them heels. I mean, I thought in 2024, I thought we was keeping it classy, not ashy. And then we're also, we're doing a lot of pedicures, and I thought self-care was the thing. Maybe not. I mean, because if you fast, people just take that, right? Like we know some of the athletes, their feet might not look the best because they run around on them so often. We let them get away with that. Maybe if I'm 10.4 fast, maybe y'all okay with that. Maybe my people's maybe y'all extend me a little leeway. Yeah. You could give me a little bit of feedback on that. Oh, now this one brings me to a different place. I want to know about. We're going to talk some quick news here. All right, Applebee's date night pass. They had a date night pass. It's sold out. So if you're not familiar, the restaurant chain had rolled out a $200 subscription, and it was called Date Night Pass. Yeah, well, about that. It covered about a year of weekly date nights. The company announced in a blog post. Soon after its launch, however, Applebee's posted that the offering was sold out, with some customers complaining its website crashed. The restaurant chain's marketing play, it comes as consumer spending on dates has risen 40% compared to the prior decade. So they knew, let's roll this out because this is where everybody's at right now. We put this out on the blog, people will jump on it. Well, they did that. Their dining prices have, of course, increased that much. So now consumers have been saying, well, Applebee's ain't what it used to be. So we're going to go to more affordable options. And again, this is another reason why they had to do this to bring it back. Well, for the lucky pass holders, the pass covers up to $30 per visit for diners, on food and non-alcoholic beverages. Yeah. Now, I'm just wondering, was that a little bait and switch? Website crash? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Where are my conspiracy theorists at? I know y'all out there. I definitely want to hear from y'all. I want to know, was this intentional? It kind of feels that way. If you are a conspiracy theorist, I want to hear from you and get your side of that. And if you just a frugal brother who was just saying, yo, this date night pass is a come up, I want to hear from you too, bro. I want to know what you're doing. And I also would like to come back. We're gonna have a call back a little bit later. And we'll just talk a little bit about what your plan was when you got there on date night with the pass. I just want to know, is that working? Do you think it's working? Eesh. That's all I want to know. If there's going to be an opportunity, we already had one person chime in. Appreciate you in the comments, but there is going to be a great opportunity later in the show. We're going to talk about date nights and what the plan is there just a little bit later. All right. Now this one's going to tug at your heartstrings. This one's a little tough here. A 2-year-old tries to hold the hand of a cardboard cutout of her dad at his funeral after he was robbed and killed by his robbers. Come on. That's the kind of stuff. That's the heartbreaking stuff. That's the stuff, man. It just makes you want to grab the people around you, hold them close. What a shame, man. I always wonder about that. Senseless violence. I'll take your take on it. These guys trying to come up. They took his watch. They took his jewelry. Why you had to shoot him though? When I think of those kind of things, I only feel bad about where we are as a society, where we think that a person's life is worth a little trinket that you ain't even gonna get face value for. You taking this to what? Some dude, insert stereotype here. Some dude that you're gonna meet in a dark alley. He popped the trunk on his Cadillac, and then y'all go back and forth where you want a certain amount of money. He tells you that he's not gonna be able to move it and get what he needs. He or she gets you to the point where you're upset, and now you realize you did all this for a third of markup, a third of the value. And now this 2-year-old had to do something like that. That's tough. A lady just ran 13 miles. 13 miles. That's a half marathon if you're not familiar. She ran a half marathon. And right before the finish line, her baby, who's with the father, reaches out to the mom to hold. And then the mom picks up the baby and finishes the last part of the race holding the baby. And I'm not telling you the mom ran another 3 miles with the baby, but what I'd like to hear from the marathon runners, triathletes, about our expectations of all of you when you're done with your events. Because I feel like we expect your energy to be high. When we see you at the end of your race, we always say, hey, Johnny, run faster. Hey, Suzanne, you can do it past that person. Don't let that guy beat you. Or even when it comes to a point, we say, it comes to a point where we say, hey, I'm going to need you to take the baby because the baby's reaching out for you and you take the baby. Well, that's what happened. And she did it. Now, no one forced her. I guess she wanted to be super mom at this point. I'm not even saying she was going for her all time best at the time, but she decided. So then when she did that and finished the race, do we give her a little more love at that point? Nah, we don't. Nah, we don't give her that much more love, right? Nah, girl, you need your arm swing. Save that mothering stuff for later. Get- Finish the race. What you doing, mama? What you doing? You can't. Oh, I just ran 12.9 miles. I get to the finish line, I see my baby, and then I totally forget what I'm trying to do. I'm just gonna grab the baby. Is that what we're doing? You know, I'd be very interested in getting your point of view. Marathons, triathlons, those who participate in them, we also expect that at the end of your event, that y'all want to eat a lot of food like we do. And I just want to know, at the end of a race, anybody out there going to be picking up their kid at the end of the race? Y'all know how heavy these kids are when you ain't run a marathon. You holding your little 3-year-old and you realize, this ain't what it used to be. Even still, that little 18-month-old starts to become a bear. When's the last time y'all went to a little music park and you there for the kids? That's your first mistake. But you're there for the kids. We just say that. You there for the kids. You brought all your kids, even the small kids. And now you about an hour in, you done paid all this money, and now you gotta carry that kid for the rest of the time there until you feel like you got your money's worth. Oh, you forgot the stroller. You forgot the little folding stroller. Yep. Okay. Well, you learned today. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that happened to you. The best thing I can tell you is these are learning points for you as new parents. This is where you learn. It's important. What what you gain in life when those opportunities come, it's better for you. You learn today. Let's get to the next. I want to know a little something about mules. Who wears mules out there? A slip-on mule. So the Jordan brand, they chopped off the heel of the Air Jordan 1 to make a slip-on mule. Man, who wearing that? I just want to know. Like if you hardcore and you rock with the mules, I just want to know. Is that what you're doing? You're the mule wearer, and these are the ones you're gonna wear? Eesh. No. I feel like at that point, you just gotta wear the whole sneaker, right? I mean, everything is the same except the heel is cut out. Hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna need that point of view if you are interested in expressing to us about your mules. Now would be the time. You can call in. You can help me with that. I'm gonna need some convincing there. I'm not. We not saying that your fashion is hurting. We just saying that we don't get it. We just want to know. Maybe you can convince us. That will only happen if you're participatory. If not, well, we'll just keep kind of talking about your choices, your fashion choices. All right, relationship. We got to talk relationships. When you're in an argument, whose side should your love interest take? Yours or the kids? All right, okay, I got it. There's some parents out there, I got it. Y'all all tough, y'all old school. And you saying, now I don't disagree with my kids. I lay the law down. Got it. I got it. This one ain't for you. But those of us, we like to have a little fun. And in having the fun with our kids, we have a disagreement with them. Now, ain't nobody saying we letting these kids call us out our name. Don't get that twisted. We're not saying that. But what we saying is we are giving them a chance to express their side. Now, it does not agree with our side. And because of that, it's contentious. It's back and forth. But then all of a sudden, your love interest, your spouse, your significant other, they decide to get up in there and they are not on your side. Man, you got to be kidding me. Girl, it's 2024. We'd have been together since 2011. Now, you could count the ordinal years, you could count calendar years. I like to count calendar years. We're gonna come back to that too. But I'm just kind of curious. At what point do you agree with a 6-year-old over all the time we've been together? Help me out. Somebody help me out there. Because I don't get it. Okay. That's what I thought. My expectation is that you have to support the person you'd have been with the longest. Come on. Help us out. Oh, we gotta get to entertainment here. I'm gonna go with a rapper supporting Trump. Yeah, it happens. You know, we know that there's blacks for Trumps. This guy said, "Dear Trump, abolish Christopher Columbus Day. As a what's called black man in the United States, this holiday is a spit in our faces. Thanks." From Waka Flocka Flame and the People. All right, we doing that. That's what we doing. Waka Flocka Flame says, "I'm gonna come right at you, Trump. I'm gonna make sure that you acknowledge my request." What, yo, Waka, what we doing, man? This we writing letters to Santa? That's what we doing, Waka. Dear Trump, you know, I just feel like we trying too hard right there. I don't know if he was actually trying to reach Trump. I don't know if he's like in the Trump, the Blacks for Trump group. Like now we know he is, and he knows that Trump's gonna listen to him. It's funny to me. I just feel I honestly feel like there's a great opportunity that was missed there. I think Trump should have had a conversation with him. That I would have watched it. I would have loved to have seen those two sit down and talk about Christopher Columbus Day going away. Because I want to know. I want to know. Most Trump supporters, I'm thinking they'd be against that, right? Isn't that why down in Florida, you take out a lot of the items in history that you feel would bring on some guilt, right? Yeah, that's So then when you realize Christopher Columbus Day and how it feels to indigenous people who are already living here, you're just saying, nah, that ain't gonna happen. I think I'm wrong. I feel like I'm wrong, and there's no way. There's no way, right? There's no way Trump's gonna go for that. But Flock for Flame. I mean, you try, brother. You gotta swing for the fences. That's what you gotta do. You gotta give it a try, and you try, bro. I'm just saying you might have gone down in flames on that one, but it got your name back in the news, and that's what's important. So good job rocking with the blacks for Trump, and maybe Trump will, maybe he'll see this and give it new legs, and he'll reach out to you. Okay. Does anybody know about the Kite Baby Sparks paid leave furor? So there was a lady, and uh, her name is Kite, and what she said was, "Hey, my kid is in the NICU. My kid has problems, so I'm gonna need to work remote so that I can have full access." That's it's pretty. It's it's okay, right? Like we understand that, right? Y'all get that? Hmm. Problem is, her company did not get that. Her company said, "Nah, we good. You're gonna have to come to work." Yep, that happened. Well, then it got out, and once it got out that they did not want to support her, then they decided to give her the opportunity to go remote. I don't understand what the difference is. This is where companies realize if it's in your power, if you have the capacity to do it, why don't you do it? Now, it's real easy to hide behind, oh, well, it's not in our current policy. This is not something that we do. And if we do it for you, we got to do it for everybody. Yeah. And you guys will say that right to their face. But then as soon as it gets out, as soon as you get that public appeal, as soon as maybe some stock prices, maybe the board starts to apply a little pressure, things change real quick, real quick, real quick. Well, now the lady is able to work remote, care for her kid. Yeah. And now you got all this negative publicity for nothing. That was a quick conversation. If you'll listen, if you'll listen to the people who are trying to warn you, but you missed out on that. Working is back in style for kids. This came from LinkedIn News. For teenagers working part time and summer jobs, it's not just the rigor again. It helps in a time of relatively high inflation. A quarter of a million more teens are working than before the pandemic. I, I didn't know that. When participation had been in decline for 4 decades. Hold on. See, now this is ruining it for parents. This is ruining it for y'all because y'all been telling the kids how lazy they are. You've been looking down on them, saying it's generational. You saying, "Well, back in my day, we used to do it like that." Nah, because it sounds like every generation has been working less than the previous generation. A quarter of a million more teens are working than before the pandemic, when participation had been in decline for 4 decades, 40 years. I know some 40-year-old parents. You can't use that. They have helped resuscitate the retail and hospitality industries, which in turn have raised starting wages and made schedules more flexible for those often still in school. When the job market hit its hottest point last year, the unemployment rate for Americans aged 16 to 19 touched a 70-year low. All right, forget the 40-year-old parents. Forget that generation. We talk about grandmama. Yep. This is where it happens. This is where you got to put up or shut up. And a lot of parents gonna have to start shutting up. Things is different. You don't always have to tell people that it was so much better back in your day. It was just different. That's all. You got to accept that, because now there are this thing called statistics. And the statistics are such that there's been a decline. So y'all were so hard working back in your day. Uh-huh. But you do know that there's been a decline, and that the current generation, the current 16 and 19-year-olds, they on the come up. And the job market has been resuscitated because of them, retail and hospitality industries. Now, I just want to know, what you gonna say now? Oh, I know what you're gonna say. So you didn't know about this. Now I just told you, and you will not be sharing this episode with your kids. You don't want them to know. It's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. Your secret is safe with everybody who reads the news. Yeah. It's all right. It's okay. You missed your opportunity. Eesh. Now, there's a downside of this. The participation boom, it has a dark side. Companies have illegally scheduled teens to work late and long hours and operate dangerous equipment. That's according to the Washington Post. They did an analysis. And this is where we have to get serious. Parents, I know that we just talked about how great it was that the 16 and 19-year-olds resuscitated, but we just can't fire and forget. You just can't let them fly out of the house, head to work, and not talk to them about the conditions, not pay attention to that time clock stub that they have. We need to know, how many hours are you working? Parents, if you're not familiar with the labor laws in your state, you probably should find that one out. How many hours is your kid allowed to work? What's the max? How many hours in a day? If you don't know that, now's the time. Yep. Again, you're welcome. They don't have to know. So you just come soaring down in your cape, diving in, and you say, hey, look, I know that you've been working, but here's what I found out. I just found out you've been working very long hours. I thought you were doing this and that, and then you're going to practice or something. I didn't know you was doing all that. But, however you're going to have that conversation with them, just jump in now, parents. Jump in now, please. Save these kids from themselves. They don't know. And a lot of companies are getting over on it. And we could do better than that. Shame on the companies that are doing that. I mean, that's what you're doing. I'll take advantage of the situation. The kid doesn't know any better. Okay. Yeah. So I'll bring it back to the kite baby. So there's an infant sleepwear brand, and their name is Kite Baby. That's the company that we referred to a little earlier ago that was facing the intense backlash over their personnel decision. That their CEO had to come out and say was insensitive. So the lady, her name was Marissa Hughes. That was the mother. who was initially denied her request to work remotely from the newborn's bedside. You guys may have heard of it. Maybe I'm breaking this news to you, but it did make headlines and it sparked calls for a boycott. And when that happens, people reverse course. I'm glad that got fixed. I really am. Maybe going forward, this could help others. Sometimes when you're making a plea to your boss, go in there and have precedence. Bring articles like this to bear. Have some things behind you, because what happens is you get emotional because you know what you need, but you may not be as eloquent, may not be as relaxed in your delivery. And so you're really amped, you're really hyped, you really want to get that point across, and then you realize, oh, I done messed up. I got a little ahead of myself, but y'all still understand what I need y'all to do. No. You can still go in with all the fire and desire that you initially expected to bring, but you bring in precedents. You bring in items like this. Just remember the lady, Marissa Hughes. Remember Kite Baby. That may help. Hopefully, that'll help you guys when you're trying to do that later. Here's another item from LinkedIn News. Did you guys know that job hopping demand is up and supply is down? What? Hold on. What? I thought we was in the big migration, coming out of the pandemic. I thought everybody was jumping from one job to the next. Man, how many times y'all had in y'all social media somebody done jump from one job to the other and they all happy, right? I think I was getting about two a week. About two people I know every week. Oh, I done switched in. I got the new job. I got the come up. But that ain't happening no more. The demand is up, supply is down. It's getting harder for white collar workers to switch jobs. Around 85% of American professionals would like to find a new role this year, but based on a recent LinkedIn survey, yeah, the tighter labor market's making the job hunt more difficult. So the Wall Street Journal writes, and I think that's what it's going to take for people to listen. When the Wall Street Journal comes out to tell you this, and then again, you have that LinkedIn survey. I'm just saying, we're not in the mass migration times. So maybe when your boss gets you mad, you don't fly off at them. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you go ahead and you search, you find something, you have something in your back pocket, and then you unleash. Don't do it the other way. Don't unleash and then try to find something, because it's different. It's hard right now. What part of 85% of Americans? That's a serious majority. Like 85-15. I sound like a bad deal from a movie where someone is a great singer and they find a manager and the manager is like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm just, we just gonna split this 85-15. 15%. That's what you're getting. That's a lot. Or when you see it the other way around, you think 85% is a lot of money. And maybe you're okay with giving them the 15. However, that 85 hits you, just know you probably should have your stuff in order before you go flying off on the boss. Yeah, because you might be doing some job hunting. I got another item from LinkedIn News. Fast growing jobs in 10 US cities. I've seen some people jump in and they jumped off. It's early in the morning. The morning show, you got to be that early bird. I get it. What I'm impressed with, I had a buddy, an old college buddy. I hit him up right before we came on the air. This dude is jumping on a flight like right now. Like that's an early bird. What? Like you are already at the airport on a flight by 6 a.m. Bro, you are legit. You are the early bird's early bird. You the bird that all the other early birds set they watch by. Like, I ain't doing it. If Jeffrey ain't out there already, no, I ain't going. It's too dark. You know, worms out right now. Let Jeffrey go out. Jeffrey will wake up all the worms, and then we'll come and we'll jump in. But I think that's how it works when you're the early bird for the rest of the early birds. So let's talk about the top 10 US metros. Number 1, mental health therapist. That's number 1 in Denver. It's number 2 in Boston. What? Really? That's the job? The fastest growing job titles in 10 metropolitan areas across the US. So the roles across the healthcare sector snag the spots in the rankings, and that reinforces the industry's continued demand. I like it. So you got mental health therapist in number 1 in Denver, number 2 in Boston to clinical associate, number 5 in Washington, D.C. And then you have sales related roles. Those also grabbed number 1 spots in some cities, including Houston, where it was sales development representative, and Dallas, sales recruiter. Now, I'm based in Austin. If y'all don't know, Dallas is about 3 hours to the north of me, and Houston, that's east. That's another 3 hours east of me. Enough of the geography of Texas for you guys. What do you guys think about TurboTax? You ever used it? Oh, you got people. I mean, some of y'all got people to do that for you. I got people to do that for me. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Be like, yo, what did Biggie say? My accountant handles that. Yeah. But some of y'all ain't got an accountant for that. And it's your spouse, it's your significant other. You could at least call them an accountant if they doing your tax. That's what I see. I just did that. Come on, make these people feel better. They doing yeoman's work that clearly we don't want to do. I'll call them accountant. I'll call you professor accountant. I'll call you a lot of different things to show my appreciation for what you're doing. Let's see. We got a couple people chiming in here. I like it. I like that they're listening. Looks like they're listening over in Richmond, Virginia. RVA. Come on. Stand up over there. Yeah, what y'all doing up so early over there in Richmond, Virginia? Eesh. Mid-Atlantic. I got it. If there's going to be an opportunity, I want you all to know you can call in on any of these topics if there's something that you want to cover. 512-843-1506. That's the number for you guys to call. If you want to participate in the show. Now, I'm going to take those calls live. Now, we don't have a producer, so I'll have to take that call. I'll have to push those buttons, but we'll do it. Had to take a cough break. Hey, this is what happens. The kids come back from the holiday break. They back around everybody. People don't travel to other parts. They bring it home to you. So you got to fight through it. We're going to fight through it. I got some liquids next to me. And I'll make sure that we give you the opportunity to not witness the struggle. We'll take the cam off. We'll do a biological break just to allow you a little discretion. So, trouble for TurboTax. For those who didn't know about this, I got this from a few sites. LinkedIn News was one. Just in time for tax season, the Federal Trade Commission has ruled that the proper tax filing software misled customers by advertising free services that weren't actually available to them. So they saying, yo, everybody, y'all gonna get this for free until everybody show up. And then everybody realize, hey, what you mean I ain't getting it for free? The commission, the Federal Trade Commission, has now banned TurboTax from advertising free services unless they're free for all users. Unless they're free for all users. What? Yo, how you gonna advertise something's free, but you know it ain't free for everybody? What did you? Well, clearly you were getting away with it. So I don't know whether to shake your hand, pat you on the back because it worked. Like, did it work? Because now you getting the backlash of it. Intuit, which owns TurboTax, said that the FTC's decision was deeply flawed. Last year, TurboTax was ordered to send checks to more than 4 million people as part of a nationwide settlement over claims it's guided low-income customers away from its free filing services. That's what y'all doing? Those are the people you hitting? I feel like we're every I feel like every Fortune 500 company should probably have. I want to start calling it maybe a common sense division. Like all things have to go through the common sense division. And in the common sense division, you got an old lady there named Miss Hattie. And if you're worried, Miss Hattie will take care of it. If you're wondering, oh, should we do this? I don't know, let's ask Miss Hattie. And then Miss Hattie will tell you, nah, baby, you don't need to do this. That's gonna get you messed up. Every time you have a question, if Miss Hattie say, nah, baby, that's gonna get you messed up, then you know you're doing it wrong. You're living foul. Low income customers, those are the people. Oh man, they're the people that need the free services. How you gonna let the rich people get it for free? What they gonna do? You think a rich person will complain because they ain't get something free versus a low income customer? You messed that up. We didn't need the FTC to make the decision and call it deeply flawed, unquote. 4 million people were part of the nationwide settlement. So now I'm curious, uh, y'all get y'all check. I'm just saying, like, did you get your check? You need to go back. I mean, since the last time you filed, did your address change? Did you update some stuff? I don't know. Did you get your check? I mean, it's an easy question. I don't know. I don't know if Miss Hattie could have saved some of these big companies from everything, but the Common Sense Division with their president, Miss Hattie, she'll take care of you. Now we get to a little point of view. When your laptop or your desktop computer dies, do you hold a wake? There's a funeral, ain't it? I mean, computers are our lifeblood. When you tell someone you got the blue screen of death, when you tell someone that your computer died, what's the first thing they say? Oh, and they give you the deep sigh. They give you that long pause. Their face, that smile is turned upside down into a frown because they know it's akin to losing a loved one. Say it ain't. Because you see your whole life flash before your eyes, right? Okay, now remember all I just said. Ricky dies. You think about all the things, of course, Ricky could have done, but you say to yourself, man, life is short. So when you lose that laptop or that desktop, you see all of the items you have up there that you should have been backing up and you didn't back up. Yeah. Now it comes back and you realize, hey, man, I had that opportunity and I missed it. That's because you didn't work in the Common Sense Division. Miss Hattie would have told you. What she would have told you? She would have said, baby, you need to back up your stuff once a week at least. Are we listening to Miss Hattie? I mean, if she was there, if she was that little voice, you listening or you ignore her? Well, another point of view. Has anyone ever donated clothes and then you find out you put the wrong thing in there? What's the next thing you say? Bruh, I'm gonna need that back. How, how do you do that? Are we allowed to do that? All right. So I'm doing a good deed. I want to help others. I got all these clothes I ain't using. So I take them to the donation center, throw them on the desk, and be like, yo, y'all take all this. Because, you know, it's the philanthropic thing I could do. I want to make sure these people get broke off. And they start going through it. I'm like, oh, this is Gucci. Oh, this is Rockaware. Could have used this a decade ago, but okay, we'll take it. Oh, I like this. And then this happens. The item that you still want to have in rotation in your closet. Now you see it. You see it. They see it. You reach for it. They beat you to it. And they hold it up. Wow, this is going to be amazing for somebody. But this is why you're hesitating, because you're asking yourself, wait a minute, you look a little too excited, bro. Are you going to be wearing that? And that's the question, right? Is this even going to make it to some needy person? Or is this bro right here? You're going to see him down on Broad Street and he got on this jacket. Hey, these are fair questions, right? I was kind of curious. 512-843-1506. Call in. You could give me your point of view, but I'm just wondering, do we ask for that back? And am I asking or am I telling you, yo, get that back? It got serious, right? You see the difference? Hey, bro, I'm gonna need that back. Hey, can I have that back? Yo, my man, that ain't supposed to be there. Give me that. Eesh. I feel like that last one is the one. I feel like that's the one. That's when it gets serious too. He wearing a name tag, but you don't care what his name is. At that moment, when you mad, it's my man. Hey, yo, my man. Yeah. He needs to know you're serious. You're appealing to his masculinity to let him know Brody showed up. Testosterone is in the building. It's about to be a what? A close fight. What we about to do? Man, give it back. I guess you could do that. And here's why. It's not official until they give you your little receipt, right? And you start to walk away. I'm gonna say that's when it's official. If you ain't got your receipt, that's their fault for kind of going through it with you. And why do they go through it? They go through it because they want to say, "Oh no, we can't take this. We can't take something that's offensive if it's an offensive branding or if it's been altered, as in it's got a couple patches on the knees, like the old days. Just bear with. But these are the reasons why they won't take it, which means all items have not been accepted yet. Boom. Okay, see, I just helped y'all out because I think some of y'all were hesitant. You were looking at me like, man, no, we can't ask for that. No, I just gave you the out. I just explained it to you. But you can call in. You can explain it to me. We'll see. We'll see if anybody wants to. Don't forget, you guys can hop over in the comments also. When you do want to comment, you'll give access to StreamYard so we can put a comment to the name. If not, you'll just show up, for instance, as Facebook user. And I won't really be able to really acknowledge you and what you're doing. So we appreciate the comments, but you gotta be able to put a name to it. Or you just gonna be my man. Yo, my man. I appreciate what you said there. Yeah, I got it. And thanks for listening over in Pittsburgh. See, that's who you gonna be. You gonna be my man. Who is the person that you could talk to that doesn't get jealous and that they celebrate your achievements? Who is that? You know who they are, or you don't know who they are. Mm. Yeah, we're gonna stay on this point of view. All right, let me back that up. Who is the person that you could talk to that doesn't get jealous and they celebrate your achievements? I'll wait and see, because right now you're thinking, man, like when you got some really good news, who can you call? Dang, is it only your mama? That's it? Sister? Your brother? Is it somebody who ain't blood? That's the one right there that impresses me. If you got somebody who's not blood, and at this point, if it is that person, you consider them blood anyway, but in the biological terms, they're not actually blood. I want to know. I would love for you to chime in and tell me about that person because I'm impressed with who that person is. That's your road dog, right? That's the one. They celebrate you. They celebrate and they don't hate. Those are the ones. I know if I reworded that question, I said, who are the people that you can't talk to because they get jealous and they won't celebrate your achievements? You come up with a name real quick, huh? Yeah. I think we know who them haters are. The problem is some of them are probably blood. Ooh, point of view, point of view. I don't even know how you could fix that. If you got a if you got a family member who's blood, and I say it that way because remember what I said here. You know how you got your play cousins and you think they blood? Nope, I'm talking about the real blood here. So not the play cousins. Not yo, that's my cousin. Not really. You know it ain't. But the real blood, I'm talking to people that clearly are at this point, you probably over 18. I see the demographics of my pie. So I'm just gonna stick with that. So you two, let's say, have been family for 18 years. At this point, if they are not supporting, why are you going to waste your time thinking you can sway them? If hating is hating, why are you participating? Don't waste your time. I'm here to tell you, don't waste your time. Oh, I know. You think you can have a conversation and that your words are going to sway them and make them a better person so that they will start to realize it's not about them and that they can support and be happy about the good things that are happening in your life. Okay? I appreciate that you are a positive person and that's where you're going to go. You do that. Let us know. 512-843-1506. You can call back into the next and tell me how that conversation went. Give it a little time though. Give it a couple weeks or something. Maybe you come up with some fake news and give it to them. Let's see their reaction. See what's the first thing they say when you give them the news. Man, why are you getting another pay raise? That's how they say it. Why are you getting another pay raise? Oh, you expected them to say, yo, you getting another pay raise? That's awesome. See that? See that difference there? Man, I'm breaking up families here. Y'all starting to realize your cousin ain't your cousin. That's just, oh, that's my cousin. There's a difference there. There's a difference in how you say it. Okay. There is a little bit of entertainment here I saw on social media. A gentleman got pulled over and he slid something in the back to the three kids that were sitting in the back seat. And he told them that it was paraphernalia and that they would get in trouble if the cop found out about it. As soon as the cop tapped on the window, the little guy sitting in the middle, in the back, snitched as fast as anyone could get out of the starting blocks at a race. God, his reaction time was splendid. His reflexes were astounding. I want to know, do you think your kid would have your back? Would they? Would your kid have your back? It's just a question. I just want to know. Is your kid going to snitch on you? Does your kid have what it takes to look Popo in the face and say, ooh, 9? And I say, wait, what's going on back there? Nothing, officer. Hey, don't get mad at me. You raised them. I just want to know. Will your kid catch a charge for you? Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. Relax. I can see already. I done lost Des Moines, Iowa that quick. The Midwest values done kicked in. And all of my demographics in Des Moines says, nah, we don't let our kids catch cases for us. Like I was just trying to understand. Would your kid do that for you? Because his kids did not. And it's pretty funny. All right. For those who do a little bit of sports, okay, so you're at a game, right? Put yourself at a game, and I gotta know, is there anything that anybody could do on the jumbotron when they put you up on the big screen that would embarrass you? Is there anything? Here's why. Some South Korean baseball players' wives were on the jumbotron, and they took that moment to get into some really good dancing. I mean, them girls was breaking it down like they was on a Soul Train line. Like this was their moment. They waited their whole lives. Would that embarrass you? Like, should those men been embarrassed? They looked very embarrassed that their wives were doing all that dancing. So then I also ask you, if you guys are at a game, does the kiss cam scare you? Does it scare you? Okay, so if you're not one of those people that are afraid, got it. But you know that your significant other, your spouse, your boo thing, you know they're not a good kisser, right? They are ugly kisser. That's why you don't kiss them out in public. But now the kiss cam is on you, and everybody gotta see upper lip kisser. They be missing, right? Yeah, peck on the lips. You ain't gotta be all up in here. You ain't gotta be down here. Does that scare you? Because now everybody gonna be looking at y'all. Y'all gonna go viral because of that. You done made it this far. Every time your boo thing wants to do a little social media smooch or something, you able to avoid it. And you're like, nah, girl, quit playing. But ain't nothing you could do right now. That target is on you. You looking up at the jumbos, everybody looking at you. Eesh, what you gonna do? I'm just curious if that's something that you have thought about. I know I have. What about the dance cam? So you're still at that sporting event, and the kiss cam. Maybe you missed it. It got the couple next to you, like there. It got like 2 rows behind you, so you avoided it. Ugh. But now the dance cam is coming around. You ready? You got skills? You ain't got no skills? Oh. So what you gonna do when the dance cam come around? You know what you're supposed to do? Two-step it out. Two-step it out. That's what you do. Don't worry. You're boring. They're gonna move on to somebody else. You need to start practicing the two-step so you can bop it out. If you don't have that in your repertoire and you start pulling out the mom jeans, the fanny pouch, yes, if you bring out those moves, it ain't about you no more. It's about the people who are there with you. I'm sorry, who were there with you. Because when you're done biting that upper lip and you open your eyes from that dance, when you open your eyes, ain't nobody near you. And you came there with a grip of people. You had about 3 people from work. You had your boo thing and probably a kid or two. Ain't nobody there. Nobody knows you after that. Come on, man. You knew that dance cam was coming around. You had one choice. You could have, that was your time to go to the bathroom. So if you ain't gonna work on a two-step, dance cam come, go get me some popcorn. Don't embarrass us out there. That is not the time to do it. I want you to think of others at that time. One of the funniest things that I've seen was a social media post. And in it, 2 young guys were fighting. And there was an old guy that was just instigating the whole thing. He was saying a lot of things towards one of the fighters. So I think he knew one of the young bucks. Let's just say it was his nephew. I'm gonna just say, I hope it wasn't his son, although he was cheerleading for him as if it was his son. But he was saying a lot towards the other fighter. So you got my boy right here, and you got the other fighter. So I'm saying to the other fighter a lot of stuff. Like, oh, come on, bust him. He ain't fast. Hit him upside the head. You will knock him out. He's slow. You can't let that chump get you. Hold on, man. You saying you saying a lot, bro. You saying a lot. Am I right? Have you ever thought about that? Your people, when they're supporting you, they always got something bad to say about them. It could catch up to you. So this is what had happened. The young guy that he was instigating against, apparently, in the back, someone from his squad realized, oh, head, you ain't gonna keep talking about my boy like that. And so old head then had to square up. And here's how it happened. Young guy started stepping to old head, and old head started throwing his hands together like I guess that was going to intimidate the young cat. It didn't. The young cat shirt was already off, and he's walking to you. Let me say something to you, old head. Young guy, half your age, when his shirt is off and it looked like he worked out, right, you in trouble. Old head, that ain't what you want. You better two-step out, go get some popcorn for your fighter, shut it, zip, wait for the dance cam to come around or something, because you're about to be part of the show. So the young cat starts walking towards him. And the old head said, hey, don't walk up on me. You don't want none of this. You don't want these problems. The young guy gestured, flinched, and landed a kick right on the old head's chin. The old head was out before he hit the ground. He was out. He was out on his feet as he was leaving his feet, heading towards the ground. Yeah. You took it a little too far, man. The denigration of the opposite fighter. It's all good until either the opposite fighter or their cousin realizes, all right, my cousin caught a fair one, and you about to. What a shame. Oh, hey. Face, ground, that's the sound. That's all right. I'm also just saying, oh, head, you ain't have to be instigating. The young bucks are already out there. They already done squared up. What's going to be is going to be. What you need to do is the right thing. Try to talk it down. Tell everybody violence ain't gonna solve nothing. Try to get out of there. You are not there to be fighting. Your time is past. This is not what we do. That's a young man's game. Maybe you know that now, because yeah, you missed it in the moment. It got a little hot. It got a little hot for you. Some things you wanted to do. Okay. I'm gonna need to know a little something here. I don't know if this is entertainment or a point of view. Blueface calls his wifey, Jaden Alexis, from the Slammer. And he says, I love it here. I love you, girl. You know I'll be home soon. Huh? Hey, anybody ever come across somebody who said, I love it here in jail? You you that's that's what you say? I love it here. S- So you like you like having all of your liberties taken from you. You like watching your back, literally and figuratively. You like that you have to make shivs for people. No, you're making a shiv for a person. You go loan it to them and then take it back, then loan it to them, then take it back, then loan it to them, then take it back. Nah, man. Come on, man. You ain't supposed to say that. Nah, we good. I love you, girl. You know I'll be home soon. Wait, hold on. I thought you liked it there. What's the rush? Go ahead and stay a while, right? Going. I think like what happens is like when you're in there and then you get in some fights, that adds on to your sentence, right? Or if you get caught making shivs or something, add to your sentence. Uh, all of that would add to your sentence. I'm thinking there's a lot of things that can happen to add to your sentence, but nah, Blueface, I'm good, bruh. I wouldn't love it there. I'm trying to get out as soon as possible. And I'm never going to say, oh, I love it here. Nah, pretty sure I could use some different words. Like, I'm making it. How you loving it in there? I ain't. I got 3 more days and then I'm out. See, that's keeping it real, bro. I don't know if you keeping it real. I feel like you just went a little too far there. We always complain. I look at reviews of restaurants and things like that. We quick to complain. But I want to know, when's the last time you actually got good customer service? Yeah. When's the last time someone actually blew your mind because they was about that business? Like you had to say to yourself, man, how much they paying you here? Because you working really hard. And if you had to ask them that question, or you want to ask yourself that question, or you want to ask someone in your crew that question, that's good customer service. When it was time to get the check and you didn't even think about the 20%, you was like, oh, they getting 20%, if not more. That was good customer service. So I was just kind of curious. I went into a cell phone establishment the other day. I got some great customer service. I was impressed. I wanted to buy stuff. It's just that I had already bought it from like another place. I went to them to like help me out. So I wasn't saying new phone, who this? So I said, yo, can y'all make sure stuff gets swapped over with no problems? Good, thank you. But I remember like I knew they get they don't really get commission, but like they when they sell accessories, that's good for them. They get like judged off of that. I was going to try to buy an accessory or something. I felt bad. When was the last time you had good customer service? Yeah. All right. Well, we quick to complain. I'm just saying, be quick to explain the good times that you've had of customer service. Point of view. I'm very curious here. It's late at night because it's Friday night coming up. What happens when you didn't buy any snacks at the grocery stores because you told yourself that you were going to stop snacking, but now it's 9 p.m. on Friday night and you're regretting your life choices? What happens? Is that when you go to the cupboard and you got to go make a snack? Yeah, take some crackers and go find a piece of cheese and maybe put some jelly on top. I don't know what you doing. What do we do? Especially because it's January. Some of y'all are still on resolutions, right? Y'all got the New Year's resolutions like currently, like you're right in the middle of a resolution, like right now, and you was in the middle of a resolution a week ago when you went to the grocery store. That's why you ain't got nothing in the cupboards. Uh, life decisions, right? But that's okay though. I mean, I don't want to make fun of you a lot because you hurting. I asked this question before. A rapper ain't a rapper if what? A rapper ain't a rapper if they're doing a lot of singing. Yeah. Is that real rap? Nah. You singing, bruh. You're harmonious. You are a harmonious renderer. That's what you are. You're not a rapper. You got a great voice. Good job. Singer. When you're done here, there's going to be a duet you could do in church on Sunday. It's your singing voice, not your rapping voice. There's a difference. We only have a few minutes left, but you could still chime in 512-843-1506. I know I threw a lot at you today, but I need to know, what were you thinking? So I'm here in Austin, Texas. For those who are not here, let me tell y'all something about how they do it here in Texas. You get to the drive-through to get some food, and then you want to give up your pay card. You give your pay card to the people that get your food. Well, here in Texas, and their lack of patience still in place. Have you ever been where you're at an exit to go get some food? So let's just say I want to go get some food, right? We know we're about to get to the next exit. And there's a lot of traffic, but you know, because you just saw the sign that says a quarter mile from the exit. So you're like, dang, man, I just need to get there, but I'm stuck in this traffic. Let me tell you what they do here in Texas. They make an exit because everybody got trucks. There's a lot of trucks. No, people, everybody, not 100% of them have trucks. There's some cars, but here's what they'll do. Even though the traffic is backed up, what they'll do with all this extra space that they got out here in Texas is they'll just make an exit. They'll just drive across the median. And the problem is, a lot of times there's already wear and tear that this has happened before. So you know you're on a expressway, an interstate that is known for being backed up. When you guys come visit, look right before every exit. I'll say at the 1/4 mile mark, like I mentioned. I guarantee you're going to see two tire tracks that goes down over into the median, down to the lower level, out to the road. Because that's what they do. That's what they do here. I ain't never seen that nowhere else. I'm not saying there isn't another place in America where people get impatient and drive across the median. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there isn't another place in America where they do it so regularly. I mean, there is no blade of grass left. There are tire tracks, and you can see people who had four-wheel drives and who didn't have four-wheel drives. And I've seen some people struggle. They out there in two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, trying to do four-wheel drive things, and they have forgot. See, they have forgot when they went to go buy their truck, their money wasn't as long as they thought. They filled up on all those other little features with the heated seats, the little coolers. And then when they got to the practicality of Armageddon or traffic getting, when they had to get across the median, they forgot, I'm gonna need that four-wheel drive. Nope. They walked out of there with rear-wheel drive and all the features. So your vehicle got heavier in the instance where you're going to need it to be able to self-recover with four-wheel drive. So instead of keeping it light, you made it heavier with even more features. Yep. Sounds like a great decision you made there. So yeah, I love it. I see people just hopping out, and let's just call it the impatience lane. That's what I call it. It's not an HOV lane, it's the impatient lane. And they do that here. Another point of view, very curious. What happens at the exact moment when you and your significant other, your spouse, your boo thing, when me and my wife, we start kissing and then she tells me to lock the door? That waddle of shame with your pants down, is it worth it? Oh, it's worth it, right? And nah, I can't be the only one, because it don't happen until that door get locked. That's a their problem. They want that. But then it becomes a you problem because you go from 100 to 0 real quick. Things are heating up. You're excited, but that door ain't locked. And it's got to get locked quick. How fast can you waddle over there to get to it? Yeah, that's the hard part. There's going to be a chance for you to save this, but you got to get to that door as quick as possible. That's the best thing I could tell you. Her wish is your command. She wishes that door was locked. And you got to get there and make it happen. So now we have the last few minutes of the show. We're just under 10 minutes to go. We have a couple more topics. Some of these I got from the radio and some listeners. Since we were talking about relationship point of views, let's talk about misreading a situation. Let's say, as a guy, you're walking past a room, and then all of a sudden, here's a doorway, and on the other side of the doorway, you see a lady drop a pair of clothing, a piece of clothing. Let's just call it some skivvies, some unmentionables, and then she drops another piece of thing. It's a bra. You go running into the room, take off your shirt, but then as soon as you get around that corner, you realize, oh, she's sitting there on the floor sorting laundry with a kid on her lap. Yeah, you don't definitely misread that situation. That hurts, right? The whole time you went running in there, you hear a song playing in your head. What's that song? For me, Somebody Rockin' Knockin' the Boots. That's what I'm thinking. The entire time I'm running, go diving into the room. Eesh. Oh, that ain't happening. I thought, is that like was that like the best decade, the 90s R&B? Does everybody throw that on for the win? I've been hearing that there are a bunch of different generations that are using it. If that's the golden era, I'm gonna have to update the playlist. But I'm just trying to get that from you guys. Very curious. Point of view. It's it's a tough one. So your husband and you, weeknights when the kids have gone to bed, your husband's raring to go. And as always, the women, their point of view is after a hectic day with the kids, they're overstimulated. They weren't able to leave the house. They done cooked 9 different meals already for the day. The baby was teething. The toddler was cranky. They couldn't go to the toilet in peace. The volume in the house was at max. There's crumbs everywhere. The lady hasn't eaten properly. The kid said her name on loop, mommy, 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 and the floor is wet for some reason. Yep. Ain't nothing happening tonight, bruh. If that's how her day went, ain't nothing happening. They're not. So you need to get home. You need to ask her, yo, wait, what's popping? If that was the case, if that was the scenario, ain't nothing happening, bro. Go ahead and get ready to pull out your little game system. You're gonna have a long night of Call of Duty or whatever it is. Because yeah, it ain't happening. The romantic words that your husband says to you the moment he gets home. I have to go to the bathroom. But I want to explain that to you. So when you're boothing spouse, significant other, when it's time for them to get off of work and you are not at work, ain't nobody got time to run to the bathroom. When it's time to go, you got to go. You go straight from your office to the car. You ain't got time to go to the bathroom because you come up out that bathroom, somebody might run into you and want to talk, and that's just going to slow you down. No, you got to go. I'll use the bathroom when I get home. So then when you walk up in that crib, that's why you want everybody to know, hey, look, I got it, but I just walked in. I'm going to go to the bathroom. See, I just explained that to you. I'm speaking the relationship language so that you can understand. That was the most important thing. Okay. I want to get into one last moment. When you missed your exit, but your husband said not to tell him how to drive, how do you sit in that situation? Do you make eye contact? Are you staring off in the distance, cringing? He doesn't want me to tell him how to drive, but we just missed the exit. This is going to be a blow up. At that moment, you know a blow up is going to happen, but we done missed it. So then you got to ask yourself, do I want to continue down this path? I don't want to say this path of righteousness because it ain't right. It's wrong. It's the path of, I'm going to say the wrong path. Yeah, you got to speak up. You have to, especially if y'all ain't good on gas. And the other thing is, for your sanity, make sure that at the last minute, they don't realize, oh, I missed the exit and I live in Texas. Let me make my own impatience lane to get off. It came full circle. Thanks everyone for listening in today. These were Austin Mornings, our Friday morning talk show. I'm Donato. Have a great rest of the day.